Hey guys, welcome back. Bold Spider here. Today we're going to be going over the deck that I brought to a case tournament on Saturday, being Fiendsmith Chimera. So I want to go over my matchups that I had. Round 1 was against Dragon Link, round 2 was against Tempai Dragon, round 3 was against Chimera that I lost to, round 4 was against Tempai Dragon once again, round 5 was against Chimera, and round 6 was against Fiendsmith Ubel that I lost to again. So I ended up going 4-2 at the event and got 6th place. And this was at the Refined Gaming Case Tournament. So let's take a look at the list that I brought and talk about it. Now, I've been playing this deck for quite some time, ever since Fiendsmith came out with Infinite Forbidden. So I've been playing this deck quite a bit. And I'm not playing a lot of the other things that people are playing, like the Evil Hero package, the Freight for package. And I didn't have Deceptions for the event or Lacrima. So I just did what I had for the previous case tournament that I went to. The only thing that changed was in the side deck. So let's take a look at the list. So for our starters, we have 3 Cornfield Kotal and 3 Mirror Sword Knight, along, I should say, as another starter, being 3 Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. Now 3-3-3 I really like. Some people do 3-3-2 or 3-2-3. But realistically, I love having the 3-3-3 because of consistency. It's just extra copies of everything, being able to get to Chimera Fusion as fast as possible. And then on top of that, of course, you have to run the 1 brick in the deck, being the double Big Wing Berthament. I personally like 2, since I'm not on the Evil Hero package. And honestly, it's a tried and true, just play it and see how it works. And it worked out well for me, along with the 2 Chimera Fusion, because 2 is always the best, 3 bricks and 1 is not enough. Overall, I really like this ratio of these, and honestly, I definitely think I don't need the Evil Hero package, Fright for package. I don't even think I need as a Mina either. So all that's out of the way, and honestly, this is just the standard lineup for me that I've been doing. After that, let's go on to the generic illusion stuff that we have, being the triple Nightmare Apprentice. She's a really powerful card, and I honestly like her a lot. They have to be careful with her because more as time goes on, the more powerful illusion monsters come out. So realistically, I definitely think that she is going to be a very powerful card in the future, along with 1 Dibel's the Original Sin Keeper, and 1 Master Tau, because a revive is a revive, and I really love this card. Because if your opponent's unexpecting it, you could just set it for free, and they attack into it, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. So overall, I really do like it. Dibel's is very great in this format as well, because of the power that she holds. Being able to stop things like Evenly Matched, stop Forbidden Droplet, and just stops a lot of these quick play spells, a lot of these hand traps that, or the traps that can activate from hand. So realistically, I really love the card because it saves you so much. Now after that, we have the Fiendsmith engine. It's just a small 5 engine, being the triple Engraver, the 1 Lurie, and the 1 Tracked. And overall, definitely very good. I might try 2 Tracked out because there were some points where I needed a second one where I drew into 1, so I could use Engraver to pitch itself to search out another Tracked, so I can get a draw off of Necroquip Princess, but you still can get it anyways with Cornfield Kotal or Apprentice Illusion. But that's enough for the main engine pieces of the deck, and let's get into the non-engine because there's quite a bit. So let's take a look at the hand traps first. We have the 3 Ash Blossom Joy Spring. This card is actually a very good card that I really do like currently because it stops quite a bit of things. Next up is a card that I was either deciding to run 2 or 3 of, excuse me, being the 2 Ghost Ogre. I was split between 2 and 3 Ghost Ogre, but honestly 2 was perfect enough because it let me to use another space for a crossout designator target, because I am on crossout. And another hand trap I was on was double Ghost Spell, which came up quite a bit against a lot of my matchups. And honestly, against Chimera, this card does a lot, so does Ghost Ogre. Ghost Spell does stop other decks like Tempai Dragon if they normal summon out Fadra to revive, or you just shut down the mirror match if they go Chimera Fusion effect to add it back to hand. So realistically, it's a very good card, and I definitely think more people should be on it. Then for the two crossout targets being Nibiru and Effect Veiler, these are relatively still good one-ofs to have, especially if you're siding stuff like Purulia or Fuwaros. So that's honestly really good. And finally, 3 Imperm. 3 Imperm is relatively good because you can open up Imperm, Ghost Ogre, Ash, and you can pretty much just solve the current game state. But that's all the hand traps that I run from this. And for the rest of the non-engine, let's go and talk about those. So for the rest of the non-engine, it's just a triple crossout designator because honestly, I really like crossout designator in this deck. It stops a lot of the targeting effects like Veiler and Imperm. It could stop Ash Blossom if you need it, because I think I was stopping Ash Blossom and Imperm constantly at the case tournament, which was really nice. Then after that, we have the 2 triple tactic talent. This card is also really good, being able to draw 2, look at your opponent's hand, or just do whatever you need to do. Take control of a card so you can link a wave, and do full Fiendsmith combo. And then finally, the 1 Call by the Grave. This card is relatively very good as well, because honestly, another way to stop a hand trap that discards itself is really good. And if they go Chain Link to Fuwaros, you could just Call by the Grave that second one and hit the card for literally free and negate both of them. And now let's get into the extra deck. So the extra deck is one of the things that I was flipping around a little for a couple flex spaces. But let's go off with the Chimera fusion monsters first. We have the 1 Guardian Chimera, the 1 Chimera the Illusion Beast, which is actually a really good card that helped me in a few games. 1 Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts. I was only running 1 because I really didn't need more than 1, especially going into late game. And honestly, it worked out quite well because it gave me an extra slot for another extra deck monster that really put in the work. And we also have 2 Baphomet the Mythical King of Phantom Beasts. Being a Foolish Burial on a fusion summon is really good for a Fiend Beast illusion, so you can send stuff like Master Tau, so you can revive stuff like your Dead Bells, or if you discarded a Nightmare Apprentice or sent it to the graveyard for a fusion summon, you could just dump the Tau, reborn it, and get a search for free. And then finally, for the last fusion monster within the whole mix of things that you could do, Magnum the Reliever. I would probably cut it for the 2nd Chimera now, because honestly, Magnum's just okay. I really didn't go into it much, and honestly, could have been definitely a better slot. And going into multiple turn games, a 2nd Chimera does help in those situations. Now for the generic slots I have, we have the 1 Chaos Angel. This card will put in a lot of work because you could use a Sword Knight and a Nightmare Apprentice just to make it so you have a tower monster that's unaffected by monster effects and cannot be destroyed by battle. So realistically, this card is the MVP. And if I ran Lacrima, the level 4, this card would be more insane. We have the 1 Evilzor Lars, because negating something on the field when your opponent activates an effect is really good. A card or effect, so if one of the instances that happened, I summoned this out, and I go to make a Guardian Chimera along with having this. They go attempt to activate Kaiman. I just go Lars, detach the 2, target the Kaiman, and just negate it and just win the game. The other one, we have 1 SP Little Knight. She is, I would say, recommended in every extra deck at this point because of how powerful she is. And honestly, I really do enjoy the card. And for the last generic card, because I was testing it and it did come up a few times, even at locals, because the previous night I went 3-1, only lost to Tempai, and got 2nd place. 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. She came up quite a bit, just making Moon with a monster, target a monster your opponent controls, and use 2 of them they control and 2 you control to make a free Underworld Goddess is really good. And you could even account to her being part of the Fiendsmith engine, because the extra deck Fiendsmith stuff I just run is the 1 Wave King High Caesar, the 1 Necroquip Princess, because contact fusing into this is really good. The 1 Moon of the Closed Heaven to go with the Underworld Goddess is very good. After that, we have the 1 Sequence. I was tempted to take it out, but it's really good because you could shuffle back a Beast, an Illusion, or Beast and Fiend just to go into your 2 Chimera fusions. So really, this is just a thing that stays here pretty much as a staple, and you can recycle your materials. Then after that, we have the 1 Fiendsmith Requiem, because honestly, you need it for the engine, and it's just Nightmare Mermaid. And now for the side deck. This is a thing that I was crafting up a bit for some time, and with the release of Rage of the Abyss, I got access to a couple cards I've been wanting to play. I ended up citing the Moltrami Fuvaros as a 2 of instead of a 3 of, and I managed to see it a lot because of how much consistency the deck has and how much you could dig through the deck, especially through things like Guardian Chimera. So if they wipe your board and you only have 1 set, you could just go, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then you just Fuvaros them afterwards so you can get your advantage back. After that, we have the 1 Druizorm and the 1 Magnemite, and the 1 King Tiger Wengu. So Druizorm and Magnemite's really good because people were on this deck. There was 3 of us playing Fiendsmith Chimera at the event, and there was also a Dragonlink player and a Fiendsmith Yubel player. So having these 2 definitely helped quite a bit. So you can knock out a few of their graveyard cards, so they have to utilize something else or do a different route. Then you have the King Tiger Wengu. This card's really good against Yubel because anything that they summon with 1400 attack or less just instantly gets blown up, which honestly I really do like, and it's a very good card that just stuns your opponent. After that, for the spells, we have triple deck lockdown because this is a very nasty card this format. Being able just to make your opponent not be able to special summon from deck or search from deck is really good. And a lot of people did not enjoy going against this because we're scraping at the bottom of the barrel now. After that, we have 3 Raigeki and the 1 Feather Duster. I would play Lightning Storm, but I'd rather have the 3 Raigeki, 1 Feather Duster for implications here and there. And honestly, it's really nice to have just generic removal, because one of the things that happened is that the Dragonlink player I went against, they decided to do full combo into double Fuvaros because I drew both of them during the draw phase. And I ended up drawing both of the Bystials and multiple forms of interaction like the Ash, Bell, Ogre, Veiler, along with 2 Raigeki, so I was able to break his board fully through all of his combo. And finally, the last card I played is 3 of this brand new card from Rage of the Abyss, being Final Bringer of the End Times. This card is, you target a monster you control and a card your opponent controls, destroy them. So I thought, and it says destroy them, it just works like how Promethean Princess is. So if your opponent has a card on the field that's causing you problems, you could just normal summon out Sword Knight, or have the Requiem out. You activate this, target the Sword Knight, target the card that's giving you an issue. They are forced to use something, and then you can quick effect tribute these off, and then you would be able to get rid of the issue card and get a summon from deck, being your Big Wing or your Engraver. So overall, this card definitely performed well at locals. I only used it a couple times at the case tournament, but realistically, I really like this card. But outside of that, that was the deck profile for the Fiendsmith Chimera deck, and I hope you guys did enjoy, because I have a lot of fun with this deck now, especially with all the consistency boosts and stuff. And overall, I really think that this is a very good potential deck for an upcoming format. But I want to know what you guys think about this deck, and I want to know feedback that you have, because I did get a new webcam. I hope it's clearer for you guys. So there's that. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.